of the mod. Um, I did manage to make the lid finally. If you take a look here, it's clear at the moment. It's actually built out of a small acrylic panel, and then I glued it together. The fan in the back is supposed to work, but it's been since removed since I finished the mod. I'll explain later. Um, the little vents in the front were supposed to be able to vent the air. The fan would just burn itself out eventually if it didn't. Um, I did construct this little box here to hold the DVD drive, but it didn't work too good. So I did remove that as well, but this is still early in the cosmetic stuff, and I was just trying to get everything kind of like pinned in so I didn't have to worry about it too much. At this point, I still don't have the hard drive in there, and I'm really thinking about getting rid of the posts for the DVD drive, which I actually did elect not to do. But aside from doing most of this other stuff, the mod really wasn't going too much of anywhere because I didn't really have the time to just finish anything. So basically that was that. With this one, I finally got around to painting the acrylic panel there, and I stuck in this set of adapters. Um, as you can see, everything's actually hooked up in this video. I still have that little box on the DVD drive. I haven't removed it yet. This is before any sort of really preliminary testing. I did add a bit of stones on the bottom. Now that adapter switch is just your basic extension cable, and then after that there's a switch inside which goes to a light adapter, which then goes to a party bulb. At the moment the switch is kind of dangerous because it can just come out, so I needed to fix that problem. I wasn't able to do much of anything there for a while, but at this point I'm just trying to get everything to work before I went ahead and settled everything in. So the light was a big deal, though. I really wanted to get that to set in there and look the way it was supposed to. It really does give a nice ambience to the Xbox. This part, I did manage to get the hard drive to work. It was kind of a convoluted setup like the rest of the thing, but it does fully function. The Xbox 360 hard drive is kind of hard to get open. In this video I had it pre-opened, but I wanted to show you what I did. So there's 4 screws here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you open the drive, you kind of have to like push forward a little bit while while opening it up. It's kind of a pain in the butt. There's a couple of videos online you can find it to get the drive open, but it's a pain. There's this little cover on there which has a couple of screws. You got to remove that, and here's the hard drive, which is weird because it's upside down. So after you get the hard drive out, we won't need that anymore, so just got rid of that. So I wanted to get the hard drive out, and if you notice there's that little black part there. You want to remove that because that's what we want. So I needed to get the drive out of here, and there's like a little bump, so I was having a little bit of trouble getting the hard drive out. But when I finally got it out of there, we had to remove the little section that actually connects to the Xbox 360 motherboard. And as you can see, that actually has like a small SATA slash power cable type adapter on it. Since that was pretty much proprietary, I had to have it to use it. Now on Amazon I bought a SATA power cable and adapter, male and female. Now this thing will go into the hard drive and then it will go into the actual adapter here. And it actually still works. So if any of you guys wanted to go ahead and open up a 360 computer case, or you want to try this kind of a mod, that's the best way to go. The cable's like $5. Order it on Amazon. There's a couple different kinds, but it's really useful to extend the hard drive. In this video, I've actually started testing the 360, and I'm really starting to cause a lot of issues now. The 360 doesn't like overheating very much. I did make this really cool case here. Well, there's a small part that's holding it up so it looks like it's there. Silicon to the side of the tank, and then I wrapped the entire hard drive, the DVD drive in tape, and then I used the actual 360 hard drive cover and reversed the orientation of the hard drive, stuck it back in the DVD cover, the hard drive cover, and I siliconed that to the back. I also put the USB hub on the back. That was changed later, but I'll get to that. This is just me running a preliminary test, but what happened after I started testing this is the 360 was starting to get kind of irked. It was overheating a large number of times, because what would happen is you'd heat the oil to a certain amount, and the 360 puts out just so much heat that it actually will it'll just die and overheat, and it won't want to start back up anymore. Well, that eventually caused the red ring issue, so I had to reflow the chips, which was not fun. Which the process was a lot longer too, because of the mineral oil, which I didn't want to light on fire. Okay, so here I've actually run into the issues, and I corrected the issues by ordering a coolant radiator. Okay, so I picked up a little bit more cooling power than I used to have. As you can see, the old pump is still in here, but there's a new pump over here, and I'll get to that in just a second. I'm just showcasing the inside of the of the lid here. This is what the actual assembly looks like. There's a small switch there, and there's a light inside, which is very nice, actually. It works really, really well for what the purpose I need it for. As you can see, though, I'm just showcasing the actual finished slot that actually can come out the back of there. I did silicone everything together, and I know that looks kind of yuck, but the reason why I did silicone everything like that together is because, believe it or not, electrical tape, the glue that holds the electrical tape in, is actually soluble by mineral oil. So after a while, the glue just comes off, and little pieces of tape start floating out all over the place inside the tank, and it's an ugly mess. So if you ever want to do any kind of modification with oils or anything like that, the rubber and the glue on tape just does not hold down there. And this is the pump. This is actually made for a fountain. I've got it running to the coolant radiator here, and I've got the two 120 millimeter fans going through the radiator so it cools it off. Now, this doesn't pump anywhere near as much as most people are used to seeing a pump like this push. I mean, this pump is this pump is actually capable of moving 75 gallons per hour. This pump doesn't push anywhere near that because of how much piping it's got to go through. But that's not a big problem, because I want to cool the oil down So as it's going through, it's getting cooled much more efficiently because it's not moving as quickly, which is good for it. So it actually keeps the oil cooler. Now, from here, I was able to push the 360 again. The thing is, the 360's graphical unit is very poor. The graphical heatsink is very poor, so I had another 360. I yanked that, and that big block that you're seeing next to the other heatsink is actually from a newer Xbox 360's CPU. So I screwed that on, and that massively increased the ability for the 360 to work.